Hi there. I'd like to share some brief words with Torah with you about this week's Parsha, Parshat Chukat. However, I would like to dedicate my words in the merit of a refuah shalema, a complete cure being granted by God, to Devorah Leah Chaya Bat Esther Rachel. Please daven for her. She's a very dear friend in critical condition. A woman to whom I owe much hakarat hatov, much gratitude. And that is in fact what I want to talk about. This week's Parsha deals with gratitude, hakarat hatov. For you see, there are three levels of gratitude. There is, on the one hand, starting from the lowest, denial of the good. Number two is acknowledging good, being aware of it. And number three is acting upon that acknowledgement. It's recognizing in turn that something good has been done for me. In this week's Parsha, there are two incidences in which the Jewish people are accused of being kfuyei tov, denying the good, the worst possible. The first is the well of Miriam that dries up upon Miriam's death, that the Al-Shech HaKadosh explains the people did not mourn her, and therefore the well dried up. The well was in the merit of her goodness and her righteousness, and the Jewish people did not recognize that, and therefore, upon her leaving, they lose what she had brought to the world. Secondly, and this is the one upon which to focus, is the manna, the bread that God rained down from the heavens to ensure that the people would not go hungry, to ensure that the people would be healthy and have all the nutrition they needed during their 40-year sojourn in the desert. The Jewish people speak out against God and speak out against Moshe. And part of their complaint is this lechem haklokel, this disgusting bread that's insubstantial, that does nothing for us. And they take that manna, that precious gift of God, and they just do away with it and say, who needs it? We don't want it. And so God responds by doing what? By saying, you know what? If you're saying you don't need it, then I'm going to remove it. But what is it that they're removing? What is it that they're losing? What is it that God is taking away? He's taking away His divine providence. He's watching over them. This is indicated, explains Rabbi Hirsch, by the punishment that's given out to the Jews, as well as the cure for that punishment. For what happens, and it's a very famous incident that is recorded to this very day in every single hospital in the world. God sends a fiery serpent to go bite the Jews, and many Jews die, and the Jewish people repent, they do teshuvah, and they beg Moshe, they beg him to pray to God to remove these serpents, which Moshe does, and God says, here's the cure, let them stare that serpent. So you know that staff that has the serpent wrapped around it, that is the symbol of curing and of health. That symbol comes from the Torah, comes from this week's Parsha. Why this cure? Why this punishment? So I alluded at this idea already, but in brief, God in the desert is watching over the people. His divine providence is ensuring and guaranteeing their safety. They said, we don't want this. And how did they say that? How did they send God that message? By saying, we're not interested in the manna. God says, okay, I'll remove my divine providence and let you see all the dangers that are out there that are threatening you, for which you are at risk. Among them, the serpents that live in the desert. God removes His protection, the serpents come and attack. So now, in order to be cured, what do? We have to fix our attention upon an image of this serpent wrapped around the staff. Why is that? Rabbi Hirsch explains. Because we need to be aware of the perils that surround us. And when we are aware of those, we are aware that we are not impacted by those right now in this very moment. In other words, God is protecting us. And by being aware of the threat, we are also aware of the fact that God watches over us. So it's a very simple sequence here. God, I'm not interested in your protection. Okay, I won't protect you. God, please come protect me. God says, here's what you have to do. Be aware of what you're being threatened by, and then you'll be aware that I am indeed protecting you. May we all merit the special providence of God watching over us and protecting us from the dangers of the world. May we merit safe passage through this life so that we can accomplish and grow and do everything that we are here for. Shabbat Shalom.